Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Fire Pro Wrestling World. Welcome for the second time to Internation Wrestling. In our first event, we crowned 4 of our 5 champions for the promotion. Also, had an awkward number of disqualification outcomes. I believe 3 of 7 of the matches, which is nearly half. So we may need to relax the rules a little to get a higher rate of decisive finishes. We shall see. Match 1. Charlotte Flair will kick off Event 2, first in the ring, for the number 1 contendership for the Women's Championship, to stake her claim as the next challenger for the junior single. The Queen having won this opportunity by winning the Cold War Mixed Tag from Event 1. But she's venturing into the unknown versus an opponent we've yet to see. Comic book superhero Silver Sable from the Ukraine, so she's European, fitting for this promotion. And she's got the silver axe kick near the middle there, below the essential picture. Silver axe kick. Forward to seeing what that looks like. One might suppose that Sable would have a slight advantage here, having the luxury of scouting Charlotte's match first event. But then the Queen is coming off a victory and thereby has momentum. So, viewer/listener, whose advantage gives them the edge in this match? Write in the comments. So what are they fighting for? We go to match 2. Chance to face the winner of this. The Women's Championship. The junior single. We have a rematch. The Battle of United Kingdom Royalty. Butterfly Stewart of Scotland. Princess Victoria of England. As you see by the belt there, the first champion is Scottish. Will the English princess become queen in the royalty rematch? She uses an English suplex as her finisher. Victory roll for Butterfly. Match 3. Another #1 contendership. This time for the junior tag. Introducing the Dominican duo. Cool Flame, Diego Santana, with a slow burn finisher. Princess Whirlwind, Hyper Cyclone. So the two members of the Dominican Republic make up the tertiary team of this division. As in third, in prominence, being that they're mixed gender, man, woman, and women traditionally don't go up against men. It's not a universal truth, but by and large, you don't see it typically. So the winner of this match, which also features our second look at Red Ocean Japan, the Irredeemable, and Gravedigger. Having lost the inaugural junior tag, they have a chance to fight for a rematch against the first champions from Europe. Will Ospreay and Black Tiger, who form Black United Kingdom. Match 4. Asia, having lost the first 6-tag championship to Jay White and Oceania, Asia must now deflect a new contender before they can rematch the champs in this #1 contendership for the 6-tag championship. They will face another incarnation of Villain UK. Villain UK, Steven Regal, Rowdy Roddy Piper, having lost in the heavy tag semifinals of Event 1, recruits a third member, Drew McIntyre, to challenge elsewhere. So they'll compete for a chance to wrestle for the 6-tag while playing the waiting game for another chance at heavy tag. And what is happening in heavy tag? Well, if you recall, To determine the two teams for the title match, we ran our two semi-final civil wars within the factions of United Kingdom and Red Ocean, with the winners being, as you can see there, the British Bulldogs, Davy Boy Smith, Dynamite Kid, Red Ocean, USA, Nathan Dixon, Nefarious, and Wandering Assassin, Jonathan Morris. So, our heavy tag title match is set. Or is it? Appearing is Diablo, who we did see from Event 1. He's back and declares this match is not for the title after all. It's merely a contender match because the belts, the actual championship belts, lay deep below the surface of the earth, the underworld. And to get there, you must first experience death. Death in the form of Red Death Mask out of Japan. This fireball bomb finisher, along with his partner, Funeral Mal from Mexico, Axe Guillotine Driver finisher. And so we must remove the championship feature from this match. As you can see there, it's penciled in as heavyweight tag team championship. No longer. It is now but a contender match. And now the winner here must face the Death Team in Event 3. Which brings us to the main event. Match 6. The first heavyweight champion of Internation, the eighth wonder of the world, Andre the Giant, awaits the winner of, you see to his left there, Ivan Putski, whom the Giant vanquished in Event 1. And Putski will face none other than Ric Flair. The legendary Nature Boy, having won this opportunity by winning the Cold War mixed tag from Event 1. So there is your number one contendership for the heavyweight title. And your reward is you must face Andre the Giant. Seems like a kind of a dubious reward, doesn't it? Okay, but that's what you got to do if you want to be the man around here. As Ric Flair so colorfully said many times, to be the man, you have to beat the man. You have to start by beating the man from Poland / Croatia. So where's all this taking place? If you direct your attention to the right, the lower right, so we have 6 matches at a $60 ticket price. That's $10 a match. That's reasonable. Near capacity in the gym. Let's get to it. February of year 1. Match 1 for the number 1 contendership for the Women's Championship. Queen Charlotte Flair won the Cold War last event using her figure 8 finisher. 14-time Women's World Champion. 14-time Women's World Champion, but can she beat a superhero? Silver Sable of Marvel Comics, mercenary, martial artist, gymnast. Do you read the comic? Have you read the comic? Does it still exist? Charlotte backs off to start with. Didn't really work out for her. Sable's aggression lands the knee in the corner. Working those knee strikes early on. Superhero knee strikes. Goes for, looks like a flying cutter. Went for the diamond cutter. Caught only air, however. Flying knee. Sable. Rather explosive with the martial arts tactics early. Charlotte responds with the classic Flair chop. Now a head scissors. Head scissors. If I'm shaky at all, I'm dusting off my screen a little bit. Into the turnbuckle, working those Flair chops repeatedly. And then going after the knee there. Perhaps setting up the figure 8 in the long run. Wear the legs down. Wow. Some sort of backflip high kick. It's probably a special name for it. More softening up of the leg. And we'll go to an exchange of strikes. The chops win out. It was wearing on both competitors. Dropping that knee across the face. Sable, Silver Sable, making a commitment to trying to land that diamond cutter. There it is again. So far, Charlotte's wary of it. What was that exactly? Some sort of inverted regal stretch? Drop kick down low. Yeah. Charlotte taking advantage of the dazed opponent. Wow. Innovative striking. Back to the knees. So it's leg strikes versus chops for the most part. In terms of the Charlotte tries for that high boot. She is a tall woman. She's 5'11". Swinging sable neck breaker. Lands that high kick that time to the back of the head. Half crab. Just a wear down move. I'm sure she's not going for the submission there. Ha! Charlotte takes a moment to pose down in the middle of the ring. And a woo for good measure, maybe not such a good idea. Gave a shot to the face, but delivers a high kick again. Bit of sportsmanship attempted there. Finally, Charlotte agrees to it. I think that was the third attempt. I guess Charlotte figured, I'm not going to fall for any foolishness like that. Fly. Wow. Boom. Salt. Counter kick, but Charlotte counters with her own. We'll try that again. This time not in the ropes. 2.9, we're that close to crowning a #1 contender for the Women's Championship. Running knee. Early celebration there, enjoying yourself out there. Is the Queen. Beckoning the crowd to get involved. There's the figure 8 leg lock. Her trademark. So, history repeats. As with Event 1, Charlotte Flair wins by figure 8 leg lock submission. And we have our new #1 contender for the Women's Championship. Match 2 for the Women's Championship. A rematch. Battle of United Kingdom royalty. Butterfly Stewart of Scotland defends against Princess Victoria of England. So the first champion is Scottish, still is, for the moment at least. Will the English princess become queen in the royalty rematch? In that first match, we saw Butterfly's kicking techniques versus Victoria's bullying tactics. Victoria presses forward and walks right into an arm drag takedown to start off. Working that classic early match move, the arm drag takedown. I guess somewhat easy to execute and gets the crowd excited. Suplex as the strength of Princess Victoria starts to factor in. Body slam. There's more of those bullying tactics I talked about. And the feet of the butterfly. Goes for the shoulder tackle. Does Victoria, but the sidestep. Scottish sidestep. Flying body attack. Might have been a forearm, maybe. Spinning side kick to the midsection. Still working that arm drag. And now the regal stretch, quite fittingly, from UK royalty. Snapmare in motion, dropping that elbow. Running elbow drop. Series of punches, barrage, if you will. Ew. Sister Abigail, I think that might be called. We'll call it that because these are women. There's probably another name for it. I don't know what that would be. I don't know if I've seen other people do that move, but yeah. Back to that regal stretch. Wearing down for the long term. Would be a very fitting finish, I would say. The two women collide off the motion. Trying to take advantage of the dazed opponent was Victoria, but it was too slow developing. Ducked under, but she does land the DDT. And it was responded. Vertical suplex out of the ring.
2.
Victoria content to catch her breath rather than follow up. Into the turnbuckle, ramming that shoulder now, midsection. Stomp to the lower back.
1, 2.
2 count. Would have been an early finish at 6.5 minutes. Utilizing that running elbow drop. Drop kick to the back. Ooh. Oklahoma Stampede.
1, 2.
Actually, I'm not sure if it's called that. That might be ramming people into the turnbuckle a couple times. I probably shouldn't throw that term around liberally in case that's not what that is. It's a running power slam. Running inverted power slam. That's all you really have to call it. From power slam to power bomb.
1, 2.
Covers up 2.9. That close to a new champion. We have our first ever second champion. There's that running power slam again.
1,
Middle of the ring.
2.
So I was correct on the name of that running power slam. Very good. Match evaluation, in fact, the best it possibly could be. Perfect. Perfect for the princess. As English royalty stampedes its way to the Women's Championship. And new. Match 3. We have another #1 contendership. This time for the junior tag. And we'll see another debut here. The Dominican duo. Princess Whirlwind. With the eye-catching red pants. Followed by Cool Flame, Diego Santana. They have the blue commonality, at least, in their uniforms. Red Ocean, Japan. Grave Digger. And the irredeemable Shota. Fell short of becoming the first ever Internation Junior Tag Champions have to fight their way back for another shot. Circling around, Shota tries to unload some fire early and eats a slap that time. Almost like, how dare you think you can hit me with that the second time after I was wise it the first time. That's what you get. Drops down to avoid the fire that time. Shota heating up the ring early. He's just determined he's going to hit that. He's going to try however many times it takes. It's an absolute dragon out there with all the fire breathing. But so far his flames have been cooled by Cool Flame. It's Diego. It's the body slam. Tags out. We got our first look at the Whirlwind. 2-on-1 here, flailing around with strikes. The numbers catch up with Shota, even though he is a striking specialist, as you've seen. If you saw my Canada wrestling promotion, also on my channel. Oh, just about to uncork the fire breath. It's a kick to the face. What is Shota doing? It's like he's trying to burn Gravedigger there. We also saw the Gravedigger's breath weapon there, the mist, the green mist. And that talks Whirlwind out of wanting to be in there. She gets tagged out. And a forearm for good measure. Pretty decent opening showing for the female member of this tag match, acquitting herself well. Oh, and then we get some scything action going there. And the blood is out. 4 minutes, that's all it took to start the Red Ocean. So far, these breath weapons are not working. I guess the Dominican duo had plenty of time last event to just watch and scout their possible competition. We know that those breath attacks can come out early and often. Simultag to get new competitors in there. All 4 in the ring. Flying sidekick there by Whirlwind. It was a whirlwind of a kick. Looking pretty sharp and wily out there in the early going. Absolutely no B there on that flame breath. Just uncork and fire. Fire is frequent. Turn that into a drinking game. If you are of adult age and fancy yourself a grown-up beverage or two, drink every time there's fire breath, or drink every time there's a bladed object, foreign object, some sort of cheating technique employed. Oh, well, that's just not very chivalrous on the part of Shota. Shota is not chivalrous. I'm not even going to say what he did. If you saw it, you know. And now that Diego's in there, he's leaving blood behind where he walks, which was drawn courtesy of that man there, Gravedigger. Back to it. He says, see if I can get a little more out of you. You know, your Broken Arrow reference. John Travolta. Christian Slater. Write in the comments if you know the film. Oh, goes down low. Foul, outright foul. Rings the bell of the Cool Flame. I guess we can call that the Huracan Rana. We can do a very Latinized name of that move. We're going to see Latin wrestler execute it. Called it the Butterfly Rama when it was Stewart in there earlier. The name can vary depending on who's in there. Another low blow, by the way. Princess Whirlwind pretty content that her partner can take a few more of those ball shots. She's not trying to rescue him. Oh, now she's getting bit. Gravedigger snacking down on the princess. Now she's bloody. Might not see it too well on her face because of the face paint. She's got very cool red and cyan or turquoise, whatever you call that, face paint. Now she's got to deal with a torture grind. Shota is rubbing some of that blood into the mat. Pretty vile tactics. In which the scythe. Draw more blood and then rub it into the mat. Oh god, this is brutal. Santana decided he's seen enough. Comes in to just try to lend a hand here. Things went well in the previous match for a princess. Victoria became singles champion. Can the Whirlwind at least earn her title shot at the tag? Snap, Santana suplex. Very cool by Cool Flame. But now he's eating a barrage. There's some of that striking I was talking about with Shota. The Shota striking. Comprehensive and deadly. There, finally, the breath weapon lands in duplicate. In triplicate. 2 green mists in a row. Diego had barely recovered from the first green mist. Ate another one. Totally blinded. Couldn't see jack. Deadlift German suplex. 2 green blasts in a row. Now he's covered in it. And then we saw the irredeemable followed up with the flame breath. Now that the Red Ocean Japan has hit some of those breath weapons. Close to a finish. Well, clearly close to a finish the other way. 2.9 from the Dominican duo. Was setting Diego up for some sort of power bomb or something. Eats what was that, a flying spinning kick to the back of the head. There it is again. The athleticism on display by the princess. Those whirlwind kicks. Rolling senton, but she eats the green mist. Discombobulated, but maybe the face paint protected her. Because she went right back on the attack. And now catching a breather while she bleeds onto the mat. Hurricane Rana. Whirlwind Rana. Again, taking advantage. Shooting star. Gravedigger's in there. Says, how about that save? What do you think of that save, people? Awesome. It's a kick. Whirlwind withstands that submission attempt. She was already in full flight when that flame came out. Ha! Some showmanship by the Dominican duo as well. Very much getting in on that. Blows, the beatdown, and the blade and beatdown. How much blood loss can go on here without it catching up to the Dominicans? Oh, Diego got out of the way of that green mist, but the Whirlwind had to eat it. None too worse for wear. Maybe the face paint is a solution to that. It's the counter to the green mist. Maybe it keeps some of it from getting in the eyes anyway. Type of mask almost. Wow. Charging up there before delivering that flying round kick. Oh, there's the green mist followed by a spear. Combination wrestling. Pretty impressive. Gravedigger looking good out there. Yeah. That 1-2 punch or 1-2 kick or whatever that was. Or was it green mist followed by the spear and now that grinding move. Torture half crab and a very impressive professional looking finish. Gets a submission right there in the Dominican corner just to mock them. It looks like we'll have our rematch. Black UK, I believe we called them. Will Ospreay and Black Tiger. They will have to deal with the flames and the mists and the flames and the blades and trying to rhyme, whatever. And yeah, rematch for the junior tag. Should be coming up next event. Entertaining showing, though, by the Dominican duo. Look forward to seeing them again. They were in tough against Red Ocean Japan. These are bad dudes. Be back to the drawing board. Maybe they can work their way back to contendership. Match 4 for the #1 contendership for the 6-tag championship. Held at this time by Jay White and Team Oceania. There's the Iron Sheik coming out there. From Iran, Sabu. From India. And the team captain, Blue Wolf, out of Mongolia. Team Asia. There we get a first look at Drew McIntyre. It's got Scottish blue in the back of his trunks there. And Rowdy Roddy Piper. And leading this team, which includes those Rowdy Scots, Lord Steven Regal. And will they be extra rowdy, this villain UK?
Fight!
Having lost the first ever 6-tag championship. We saw Blue Wolf body slam and Wolf strength on display. He's been shoved into the corner. Headlock takeover. Clubbing blow. And the rowdy one is knocked off the ring apron. Drop across the face.
Give up!
Team up on the vertical suplex.
2, 3,
Team up on the vertical suplex. Now we're out of the ring. Oh,
5,
objects obtained.
6,
Oh, the table shard was used by Sabu. And then he swings a steel chair
10,
using a
11,
fork outside the ring too.
12,
Steven Regal
13,
getting all bloodied up.
14,
Sabu's finding every
15,
piece of equipment he can find out there.
16,
Well, looks like some turnabout. Regal picks up a steel chair
2,
and he jams it into the midsection of the Iron Sheik. First look at Drew McIntyre. Hip toss. Looks like the Lord is not done fighting though. He's bloody, he's tagged out, but oh, sticks in there long enough to team up on the vertical suplex onto the steel chair. So we got blood got foreign objects inside and outside the ring. And the brawl is very much on.
Give up.
See the debris outside the blue corner. Discarded objects, which have been employed with malicious intent.
5 minutes.
Rowdy one's been cast out of the ring. Snap, suplex, Sabu. Some rowdy action in the corner there, shoulders to the midsection. DDT as Sabu probably should try to work his way out of that red side of the ring, that red corner. That was UK territory over there. Neck breaker. Team up on the drop kick there between Iran and India. Oh, just face washing the rowdy one with some rowdy tactic of his own.
1.
The Sheik. So the crowd applauds the kick out at the 1 count there. Guess they didn't want to see that early of a finish. Short clothesline. So we have 2 former world champions wrestling here. Iron Sheik from a more classic era. Drew McIntyre, as I record this, is a current wrestler. Is he 2-time world champion, Drew McIntyre?
Give up. Give up.
Confirm or deny that in the comments, please do. How much of a champion is Drew McIntyre? Given that I too have Scottish heritage, he hasn't been champion enough. That's for sure. These guys would make a cool tag team, actually. They both wear blue and black. Don't know if there's any real basis for them to team up.
2.
Power Slam 2.9. That close to a pretty early finish for 6 tag. Olympic Slam. As the Lord is having a hard time with this match. He's been spilled out of the ring again, dazed. Given that Blue Wolf is from Mongolia, though, probably should call that the Genghis Slam rather than the Olympic Slam. Don't know if Mongolia's had a lot of success in Olympics.
1, 2.
They're a bit of a plains people, aren't they? Nomadic heritage. Doesn't mean they're not civilized now. Know that? Write that in the comments. How much success has Mongolia had in Olympics? And should I change the name of that move to the Genghis Slam? Participate in the comments if you don't mind.
Food.
So yeah, for a moment there we had Iron Sheik, Rowdy Roddy Piper. They were contemporaries. They would have been active at the same time. I don't know if their paths would have ever crossed. I don't imagine so.
Give up. Give up.
Stomach claw there, trying to induce a submission. Not a bad idea, especially in the Asia corner. We got all 6 men wrestling, by the way, for just a moment. Yeah, that submission attempt in the corner was probably a good idea because
Give up.
did see a 2.9 count on Drew McIntyre. Maybe he could submit potentially. He's probably close to potentially to expiring in the match. Not, I mean, you know. We got 4 men in the ring. Club. By the time I state that there's 6 men or 4 men in the ring, someone's out or leaving. Does that mean these guys got to go tornado style one day? Would that be too zany, having all 6 men fighting in the ring at the same time?
1, 2.
Now we're back to foreign object use. Now it's Roddy Piper who's bleeding on the mat. So the 2 core members, low blow, Boston Crab, the 2 core members of Villain UK,
Give up.
Regal and Piper, both been bloodied. If the match goes long enough, Drew McIntyre might join in that blood party, but
Break.
Iron Sheik is looking for a fight. Set up for departing the ring. I rake. Genghis Slam. I should have drank more water before calling a 6-tag match. This could go on for a while. Throat's getting dry. The Mongol monster, Blue Wolf, is handling both members of Villain UK. Very gentlemanly
Give up.
English gentleman show of sportsmanship there, but oh, we're trapped in an armbar now. Now we got all 6 men. Wild brawl going on, hard to call it. Not everything has to be called, right? Sometimes one could just shut the heck up and just let the action speak for itself. So we got turnbuckle action in both corners. Double arm suplex. Punch, slap. The Iron Sheik's being knocked back into his own corner, the Asia corner. And the Lord's going to go to the top. Flying ball punch. Oh, pile driver. Pin attempt, but we're in the Asia side of the ring. Scots are teaming up.
Give up.
Assisted powerbomb.
Give up.
Oh, Iron Sheik has got his trademark camel clutch applied. I was so busy seeing the big picture. We got all 6 men in the ring again. Oh, that was a good shot. For just a moment, they were nice and spread out. Grab that as the thumbnail, maybe as the title picture, maybe. I guess it depends on what the episode title is going to be. We'll probably want a picture that corresponds to that.
2.
2.9, so turnabout. Sabu is pointing. What is he pointing to? Allah. So there's an Aberdeen slam by Drew McIntyre. I know it's normally Alabama slam, but let's give it a Scottish name, Aberdeen. Anyway. Running clothesline. Yes, we've seen a 2.9 on each side now. Drew McIntyre has figured into both of those. So him being the newcomer, making his debut in this internation organization,
2.
will he figure into the finish? 2.9. Looks like it might have been because of the save that we had that interruption. That might have been 3. Blood all over the field there where they're fighting. The field of battle. Not like a grass field. Running clothesline. Adjusting the wrist. The wrist apparel. Oh, another German suplex
1,
into a bridge pin. But we're on the UK side. Team up on the vertical suplex. The Regal stretch. We've seen the Iron Sheik's trademark submission hold, and now we're seeing Lord Steven Regal. But that was not the legal combination, so no submission called for. Oh, the gut wrench suplex. That's one of the trademarks of the Iron Sheik, as he would set guys up for his camel clutch. You wear the back down and apply pressure. Collision, chaos in the Asia corner. Eye rake, eye poke. Roddy Piper is putting fouls in combination there. But then it was broken up by the release overhead. Suplex. Belly to belly suplex. Back to the poking. He's discombobulated. And Piper uses that opportunity to move the action over to the UK corner. Now he'll Boston Crab his man. Well covered by his teammates who intercepted the save. Blue Wolf has to fend for himself to escape that kick to the pelvis, let's call it. And then returned in kind. Piper says, you're not going to outcompete me in terms of fouls. A very rowdy chin. Quite a camel clutch, modified camel clutch. Anyway.
1,
McIntyre playing to the crowd. And the Lord Steven Regal cast out of the ring again and dazed.
3,
A bit of a rough night for the English captain. He's been bleeding pretty much the whole time. Thrown out of the ring multiple times. His first foray, the English captain, into the 6 tag. It has been grueling. Body slams the Iron Sheik onto Regal's own blood.
1,
This time the German suplex
3.
is covered. Or should we call it the Tehran suplex? We're a European promotion, so we might call it the German suplex. But the bridge Tehran suplex. Or should it be the bridge to Tehran? Anyway, Team Asia gets the victory, and they've earned the rematch against Team Oceania. Where does Villain UK go from here? Disappointment in the heavy tag, disappointment in the 6 tag. Just how rowdy is Roddy Piper and his friends? Will they be looking for some sort of payback against somebody next event? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. The number 1 contenders for the 6 tag are now Team Asia. With that 99% match evaluation, we are over 90% for the event. So we see in the top right. Match 5 So the reward is death for the winner of this heavy tag, originally scheduled as the championship match. Now, by declaration from Diablo himself, merely for the right to face Team Death next event as the route to the underworld. So a match between the two Civil War winners, United Kingdom and Red Ocean. We just saw the British Bulldogs come down. Hero UK. Here we have Wandering Assassin, followed by Nefarious, Red Ocean USA.
Fight!
Davey Boy Smith tries to open up with a big clothesline. Nefarious is rather tall, but Davey Boy's got that superhuman strength that we saw, especially later in his career. Drop kick. Looked like Nefarious might have been going for a football charge. 8-2 boots in the face.
One.
So getting the biting going. Early foul by Nefarious. Team up on the vertical suplex. Nefarious might want to keep the fouls to a minimum, let's say.
Give up.
Because we did see some disqualifications in the first event. Then again, maybe getting DQ'd here wouldn't be such a bad thing. At least you get to avoid death. Death awaits the winner. Dynamite Kid in there, missing with a drop kick as Nefarious gets out of there, tags out the Wandering Assassin. This tall black gentleman imposing for the British Bulldogs to face. Reversal on the vertical suplex. This Wandering Assassin shows that he's not to be thrown around by the smaller Dynamite Kid. Well, let's say shorter. Because neither of these British Bulldogs are small, really, in terms of, thickness. I remember Davey Boy being bigger than Dynamite, but I've seen Dynamite in a couple of throwback matches, days of old, and he had some muscle on him, too. Anyway. Delayed vertical suplex. Look at the awesome strength
One.
by Jonathan Morris.
Two.
Out of the ring goes
5 minutes
Davey Boy.
gone.
Now it's 2-on-1. Ooh, assisted pile driver, spike pile driver, if you will. Football charge misses again for Nefarious. It's a body slam and he goes out of the ring.
One.
Like I said, Dynamite Kid. He's strong. He's a strong guy.
One.
So Nefarious grabs a kendo stick to cover his retreat from two men. Gets it back to his own corner, the Red Ocean corner. And even uses the kendo stick. Abdominal jab. Two-on-one was shaping up there, but Dynamite prudently gets out there. Tags off. Equalize. I wonder if... oh, there's some biting. And we have some bloodletting. Biting and bloodletting. They are called Red Ocean USA, after all. So we have a cross-Atlantic matchup here. America, USA. USA versus UK, let's put it that way. America is a very general thing. I mean, even Brazil is in America. Anyway. Pays to be specific. If you mean USA, just say US or say USA. America's too general.
Give up.
They're merely the United States of America, of which America is like a Western hemispheric. Anyway, a little bit of geography lesson for you. No charge. I'm seeing more biting there. Now both British Bulldogs are blooded.
10 minutes gone.
Took 10 minutes for both of them to be contributing to the Red Ocean. Kick to the face while the poor guy's face down. He's not a nice guy. Nathan, nefarious Nathan,
Great.
not nice. Notice? Stephanie Grimfrost has to get out of the way. The British Bulldog about to run her down.
2.
Blatant choke. The count is on. Dynamite makes the save. Some sort of running swan dive headbutt. Ball shot. Sets up the Bulldog. Bulldog ball shot to set up for the partner. The action's moved back into the blue corner. The blue K corner. Blue UK. Blue K. And fittingly, Red Ocean is over there in the red corner. Delayed. Vertical. Suplex. Ugh, nothing delayed about that. He got right to the body slam onto the blood. Oh, jeez. Scythe. Scythe.
Give up. Give up.
Trying to stretch the Dynamite Kid there. A bit early, perhaps, still for a submission. And the choke is on. And Davey Boy had to get out of the ring to avoid the DQ being non-legal. Took him a while to make the save. And Dynamite tossed out of the ring, ragdolled.
2.
There's blood everywhere over where the battle's going on. Splattered with blood in the ring. Red Ocean having delivered on their name. And the 2-on-1 getting the better. The wandering assassin there.
Give
He was
up.
at a football charge, knocked him down.
Give up.
While he was trying to fight Dynamite. Pants, pile driver.
1, 2.
And then a claw hold pin maneuver. Vertical suplex, atomic drop. Yeah, the British Bulldogs would appreciate atomic drops. They were active during the era where that word was common. Pants. Pile driver. And apply the scythe, the scything. Fittingly, they would apply the scythe as they head toward trying to qualify for facing the Grim Reaper team. Death Team.
2.
Assisted vertical suplex out of the ring. Now we got 2-on-1 over there briefly. Boot to the back. As the returning Nefarious took advantage of Dynamite when he was vulnerable. Oof. Another one was vicious. Kicks to the face while the poor guy's down. Not very polite.
2.
2 count. Oh, Wandering Assassin stealing Davey Boy's move, that running power slam. And Nefarious, for some reason, he was like singing the national anthem or something. Probably not a good idea to do mid-match. He's being attacked and assaulted top rope from Dynamite. So, a lesson in paying attention while the match is still going on. Nefarious Nathan, who doesn't seem to be playing with a full deck, singing the U.S. national anthem, likely to mock Team United Kingdom, gets knocked senseless and pinned. Dynamite Kid with the drop kick, followed by the Superfly Splash, and the British Bulldogs earn a date with death as they continue to pursue the Heavy Tag Championship. Average match evaluation holding in the 90s as we arrive at our main event. Match 6. Number 1 contendership for the Internation Heavyweight Championship. Polish Power, Ivan Putski. How's this for facing the who's who of wrestling history? First event fought Andre the Giant. Next, Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And as different of two opponents as you are likely to find. The awesome size and strength of Andre. The technical wrestling mastery of Flair. First strike to Flair, landing the knee. Vertical suplex. So it's not just Putski that has power. Snapmare there by Flair. Flair mare, if you will. Now, series of forearm shots. Reversing the vertical suplex. I'm going to guess that's more about being crafty than Flair having overpowered Polish Power. Just maybe seeing it coming, reacting, something like that. Body slam anyway. Whirlwind striking. And then posing down. Punctuate it. The body slam by Flair looked like he was trying to follow it up. Maybe too early in the match for something that slow developing. Anyway, finally gets a hold of his man with the headlock. Hip toss takeover. Series of knife edge chops, and he does the woo. The benefit of the crowd, the showmanship. Belly to belly suplex, launching Flair into the turnbuckle. Flair body slams his way out of there. He applies the figure four leg lock early, going for an early submission. Ric Flair's trademark. Some more wear downs, I suppose. As these early submissions are not likely to get results, but pay dividends in the long run. Headlock, more submission. A lot of submission wrestling.
5 minutes
applied by
gone.
Flair, taking his man down to the mat, taking him off his feet,
Give up.
and wearing him down.
Give up.
The technician, the technical wrestling on display. Few have ever done it as well.
One.
Vertical suplex by Ivan. After Flair had landed a couple of those earlier. Is that a sign of tide changing, maybe? Putski scores the knockdown. That time Flair's not there, backs off, and then counters with the eye poking more than once, ducking under the clothesline intermittently. The very wily Flair. Sticking and moving. Back suplex into the blue corner. And then a type of avalanche. Reverse Bundy avalanche. I believe nowadays when avalanche might refer to something different, I think that refers to moves off the top rope. You do a move normally that's not on the top, but you go to the top to do it. You might call that avalanche, but
Give up.
figure four leg lock.
Give up.
But from my recollection, the original avalanche was when Bundy, King Kong Bundy, would Irish whip someone into the corner and then run at them and basically plow into them. I believe that was called the avalanche. Anyway, not strictly important. As long as I refer to it as the Bundy avalanche. Clothesline. Floors Flair. Shoulder block, so Polish Power
10 minutes gone.
is on a roll right now. And then
One.
he
Two.
concludes that barrage of power moves with that double axe handle, which is Putski's trademark. That double forearm smash, that double axe handle. And he had a 2.9 just now.
Give up.
That close.
Give up. Give up.
That close to defeating a 16-time world champion. Back body drop, old school. For the leg hook, overhead suplex. Flair's a little tired. Looks like Putski's charging up. With an eye rake, though, to keep his man off balance. But that'll take you off balance. Ripping clothesline. This again. Jeez. How many of those can Flair take? He's just going back to the eye poke, eye rake, just try to hamper the man's vision so he has a little less effectiveness.
One.
There's that Polish Power again. 2.9 again. Flair's got to regroup, catch his breath. Series of chops. Apply that figure four leg lock again.
Give up.
I've seen that a few times.
Give up. Give
Figure
up.
four leg lock submission. No. Putski escapes. Flair is reeling. Eats another one of those. Polish Power double axe handles. Flair is somehow hanging on. What's keeping him going? How much punishment can he take? So we're taking turns applying finishers.
Give up. Give up.
Whose will
Give up.
win out in the end? Now it's Putski's turn to catch his breath. Is he running out of gas? Might come down to who can just lay across the other one for a 3 count. Flair with a drop kick. Will this be good enough? How much pressure to the legs can
Give
Ivan
up.
Putski withstand?
Give up.
Yeah. This has been an epic display of finishers, failed finishers essentially. Posing down. Does he have a big finish in him? The Polishman running knee drop. Vertical suplex flare into the ropes. Gut stomp. Flair backing off, avoiding that clothesline. He needs to avoid as much of that as he can.
Give up.
He's been
Give up.
brutalized pretty badly. Headlock was not enough to secure the submission either. Goes behind with a drop toe hold. Stephanie Grimfrost, referee, better get out of the way.
1,
Flying
2.
body press. 2.9. Flair's turned up at 2.9. And Flair's up before that move can materialize. Eye poke. Flair's ducking under those clotheslines. 3 times he avoided them. Straight up punch to the back of the head. Working on that leg, which he's been trying to get the submission off of with the figure 4. He needs to wear the leg down a little bit more before he applies it. Flying body press again. I have a note about that if this is the finish. 2.9. Well, the note is when I think it was Flair for the gold when Ric Flair was challenging Harley Race for the title. He won that match off of a flying body press off the top rope.
1, 2.
And gorilla press Flair out of the ring.
3.
Both men catching their breath. Again with the drop. Toe hold. Flair's taunting him.
20 minutes gone.
Small package, but we're in the ropes. It's not going to do you any good. 20 minutes we've gone with this singles match. Figure 4 leg lock, submission applied again. Will this be enough? Finally, it's enough. After a series of 2.9s, mostly by Ivan Putski earlier on, Flair, with the epic level endurance and resilience, hangs in there. Well, hats off to Ivan Putski because Ric Flair was brutalized throughout that match with the power moves. But he weathered the storm and gradually wore his opponent down and secured the submission with his classic, his trademark, the figure 4 leg lock. And with that victory, Nature Boy will next face Andre the Giant for the Internation Heavyweight Championship. Match evaluation 93%, so over 90, so that will secure that we should have an over 90% average evaluation for the event. No, it holds at 90. I think it was at 90. I was hoping that 93 would get us just a tick above, so we say we were over 90, but still, 90 is very good. Anytime you can get 90, you got to be pretty pleased. So Ric Flair wins the main event. His daughter, Charlotte, had won the opener, so both Flairs win their number 1 contender matches. Great success. Get a look at the financials. So, revenue of just over $70,000 income. And so we're, what is that? We're plus 100,000. We started the promotion with 10 million. We've profited 100,000, over 100,000 so far, which is approximately a 1% increase to our starting funds. So we're on a roll. So that's it. Please watch next episode, which will include Date with Death, and also, I referenced it earlier, Flair for the Gold, or Flares, plural, for the Golds, as father and daughter challenge for championships.